Hope everyone's doing well. This is going to be a brief video over the price action for the Emini. So first and foremost, gapped up. Tail on bar 1 increases the chances that bar 1 is not going to be the low of the day, and in this fact it was. And then bars 2, 3, and 4 consecutive bull bars, furthering increasing the chances that we're going to go a little bit higher. Poor low 1 short below the 4th bar. And as you can see, bear bar couldn't close on slow, more buyers than sellers. Bull breakout, strong enough surprise that you're going to get a small second leg up. So now we have a strong breakout with strong follow through, even though it's at an all-time high, increases the chances that we'll go at least high enough for a second leg. The bulls want some sort of measure move up, but it's going to be difficult to get there with where we are, the context. Let me zoom in a little bit. I'll do it like this if that's a little bit easier. So as you can see, do it like this. There we go. Strong breakout, as I said, odds are we'll go a little bit higher. This is the failed breakout. You can call it a second leg trap, but strong enough breakout above here, strong enough breakout, probably not going to be a second leg trap. Couldn't close on its low. Probably more buyers below than sellers. Still probably at least a small second leg at a minimum. Bull bar, bad follow through, kind of a warning that it may be more confusing, not just straight up. Also at a new all-time high, so could prove a little difficult for the bulls. And now we're starting to get a lot of sideways price action. You can call it a second entry buy, but it's really a 4, 5, 6 bar tight trading range. Not great follow through. Increases the chances of more sideways, maybe a test down at some point. 3 pushes, 1, 2, 3. Bull bar closing on its high. And then we get bad follow through, so now it's a wedge, but it's an awfully tight channel, as well as a fairly tight channel on the day. Probably a minor reversal down, and bulls will need a retest. Couldn't trigger, so now we have an even further wedge. 1, 2, 3. Failed breakout of a wedge. Doesn't matter if you want to call it that, you can call it a spike. And then 3 pushes. You can say it's a wedge. 1 push, 2 push for the 3rd push, and then we broke above the 3rd push. Really doesn't matter. It's still a tight channel, and since it's tight and it looks like a leg in a trading range, it's more minor, which means we'll probably get a minor pullback and then a retest to an overall trading range. Doji, but it's a reasonable short, stop above, betting on the high of the day. And, maybe you're betting on a bear breakout or a test down to here. Decent entry bar, decent follow through, but we're starting to get to the bottom of this range. We may test at the bottom of this range. That's the first sign that this may be a little bit of weakness. And as you can see, low 1 short below, not a lot of energy for the ever since. This could be some sort of trending trading range. We had a trading range sideways, trading range here, breakout, trading range here, and then breakout mode, 50-50 chance we'll break to the upside, break to the downside. Second entry buy, you can call it a wedge. Maybe first 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And it's really a tight trading range. Odds are we'll have to get to the moving average before we go a lot higher. So could be a trap, and we could trigger the buy and fall below, as we did here. And you can argue it's a wedge top, 1, 2, and 3. And now it's a wedge bottom, 1, 2, and 3. And when I said earlier, I really meant second entry buy. You call it a first entry, and this is the second entry where you could say first entry, pullback, second entry, pullback, third entry. Now we have a wedge bottom. Try to get a breakout below, but it looks like it may fail, and we're selling off down to here. As you can see, bottom of the channel, spike, pullback, start of the channel, testing the bottom. Bears want the bear breakout, but not a lot of energy. And we're starting to test back to here. Bears want some sort of double top, endless pullback, like this, hoping that this fails and ends up being some sort of trap. And the bears did not do enough. Now it's a double bottom. Strong enough breakout, make it a small second leg down, so this could be a trap. Probably better to wait for a second entry buy. And there's the second leg. Now here's a bull bar closing on its high. It's a more reasonable buy. Stop placement's tricky. You can put it down here, but realistically, maybe a little bit below these bars. And you can start to see we're trying to form higher lows. Low, higher low, higher low. Right here, it's a double top. You call it a double top, lower high major trend reversal. It's also a triangle, 50-50 chance the first breakout fails and reverses, and 50-50 chance you get a breakout. So if you were short, probably get out above here. And what do you do right here? It's really difficult. Probability is really, really small. Better just to wait. Bull breakout, testing these highs. Traders are trying to get the bear breakout, but they're failing. They had another chance, and we pretty much went sideways in the day. Up here, this was never really by the close. And if you are buying up here, it's best to get out a couple ticks below bull bar, or else you can give up quite a bit in a relatively short period of time. And that's the end of the day. Just to go over yesterday, because I didn't really go over it, I don't believe. But I said in my prior video, when you have a breakout that is this strong, it's very difficult to get a lot more out of the move. And in this case, we kept rallying up. We didn't really pull back much. And it took until, aside from these bars, it took about till 120, 115 Central Time to get a pullback to the moving average. Increases the chances that when we do touch the moving average, it could be a trap. So you have to be careful if you're looking to buy pullbacks and understanding that as it's going up, it's getting lower and lower probability. Then we had a breakout, follow through bar, and a third bar. Three consecutive bear bars, odds are we're going to go sideways. And this is a warning right here, this bull bar and this bull bar, that whatever breakout we get, we'll probably find buyers. It's probably too early to be, these buyers they're not buying bull closes, they're buying below bars and scaling in lower and scalping out. So, they're buying here, they're buying more up here, getting out up here. And you can tell it's trading range price action for a couple of reasons. Number one is we broke to a new low, and look how high it tested above a bear bar. Usually you can move stops below strong bars in a bull trend, or above strong bear bars in a bear trend, and look what happened. It barely went above and sold off. And here's a higher low, strong. It tried to be a strong breakout. Here's a higher low, went below. Here's a bull bar. It's a reasonable buy, but it's a tight channel. So look what happened when it went below. When below it, immediately turned up. When below, almost below this bar here, immediately turned up. Below here, immediately turned up. So yeah, going back to what I was talking about, even though this broke to a new all-time high and it's really strong, when you get a move so strong in the open, it's climactic, and at the end of the day, it can close fairly disappointing, which this is a fairly disappointing close. It's a doji. It's not a doji, but it's a closed at its midpoint instead of the bull bar closing on its high on the daily chart. Hope this video helps.